Tonight on CTV News at 6, pipeline diplomacy. How a long-planned and protested energy project has new life.
If you can somehow find a way to get that pipeline capacity on board, of course, it's good for the Alberta economy.
The city seems like it's falling apart, and it's very, very frustrating.
A former mayor tells us how he really feels ahead of this month's election.
We have to start being much more aggressive in cleaning up the city of Edmonton.
And a fresh start with a freshly signed star. Connor McDavid and his Oilers begin their season this evening.
We've traveled for this game, season opener. This is a bucket list for my husband.
Sunny skies and a little warming trend as we head into the long weekend.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. It could be more than just a pipe dream. The Prime Minister is back on Parliament Hill today after meeting with the U.S. President. CTV News confirms the two discussed reviving the Keystone XL pipeline during their talk. CTV's Evan Kenny reports.
The on-again, off-again Keystone XL pipeline project could be a possibility once again.
We're going to be talking about trade. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things.
CTV News has confirmed it was a talking point yesterday when Prime Minister Mark Carney and U.S. President Donald Trump met, according to someone with knowledge of the discussion. It was raised in conversation around linking energy between the two countries and was only in the context of getting relief on steel and aluminum tariffs.
This is an easy way to find common cause.
One economist believes this project could be a uniting point between the two leaders and would give Alberta greater market access.
It's good for the Alberta economy, and the argument that Alberta will make to the rest of Canada is that it's good for the rest of Canada as well, which is why the hope is that the federal government would get behind supporting this.
Alberta invested more than $1 billion in the project under Premier Jason Kenney. Keystone was canceled shortly after Joe Biden was sworn in as U.S. president, stalled for more than a decade before that.
What are your thoughts on Keystone XL possibly being part of negotiations?
Members of Canada's Conservative Party support its revival.
Any pipeline's a good pipeline, we just need more delivery.
And it appears members of the Liberal Party are also on board.
It certainly warrants exploring, but of course the devil is always in the details on these things, so we'd have to see how it came out of those conversations.
Southbow, a spin-off company from TC Energy, says it's not involved in discussion with either government. However, Southbow is supportive of efforts to find solutions that increase the transportation of Canadian crude oil. We will continue to explore opportunities that leverage our existing corridor with our customers and others in the industry. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
A former Edmonton mayor says it's a crucial municipal election that could determine the direction of our city. Stephen Mandel served as mayor from 2004 to 2013. He believes without strong leadership, the city will continue in a downward spiral. Amanda Anderson reports.
I go downtown and tears come to my eyes to see what a disaster it's become.
A downtown end city, former Mayor Stephen Mandel spent more than a decade trying to shape into a place people wanted to be.
The city seems like it's falling apart, and it's very, very frustrating. We have to start being much more aggressive in cleaning up the city of Edmonton to make it attractive so people come and invest here and want to build a life here.
As the municipal election nears, Mandel has become more vocal about what he believes are the issues plaguing the city.
I think our city's got problems that aren't being coped properly with, and we need people at the helm can do the kind of things and make the kind of changes and include the kind of people to make a difference in the future of our city.
He had a big impact on the city, and he doesn't like the way things are going. And, you know, in some of his comments, he's absolutely right.
Political analyst John Brennan says Mandel's comments also reflect a segment of public opinion.
The majority of Edmontonians feel that the city is on the wrong track. A whole bunch of reasons for that. The increases in property taxes, the whole infill mess in mature neighborhoods, you know, the construction chaos going on in the city, issues around public safety, crime, and social disorder.
Mandel says the key to moving the city forward is to be creative and develop better partnerships, including with police and the province. He says the city needs a decisive mayor and council that's passionate about improving all areas of the city.
I will say, unequivocally, I think this is the worst council we've had in 100 years. Well, there's a couple that I think should be reelected, But for the most part, they've been divisive, destructive, and not very creative in their 4 years.
The politics of this is there's one candidate who's running on a platform of continuity, that things aren't that bad. And there's a number of others who are running on a platform of, we need change, it's time for change at City Hall. And they could all split the vote once again, as they did in 2001.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The builder of the Valley Line LRT extension is celebrating a major construction milestone. The elevated track along 87th Ave is complete, meaning the large crane will be leaving. Merrick DeCash reports.
The west portion of the Valley Line LRT has been under construction since 2021, meaning drivers have had to deal with intersection closures and lane adjustments for 4 years and counting.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. You don't even know what road you could or street you can go down anymore.
7-10 years ago, when they redid the White Mud West, they should have put the LRT right down the middle of it. It's kind of a pain to get anywhere.
The company responsible for building the Valley Line West LRT extension says traffic delays will soon be minimized.
This season, since the beginning of April, we installed 224 precast concrete segments in just under 180 days, which is great production for us. We're really proud of it.
The elevated portion of the line, which includes stops at the Misericordia Hospital and West Edmonton Mall, is nearing completion. Over the next few days, a large crane that's been visible in West Edmonton for quite some time will be hauled away.
This gantry played a crucial role in the Edmonton Valley Line construction for the elevated guideway. Without it, there would be no elevated guideway to ride the train on.
The city says the completion of the elevated guideway is a big milestone in the project. Construction in the area will continue over the next 2 years.
We'll try to see what we can do to minimize the traffic disruptions on it, but again, it won't be as significant. We're not talking about full closures of intersections like we're done this year.
The city says they're still on track for a completion date somewhere in 2028. Merrick DeCash, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Stony Plain Road and 149th Street intersection has reopened. It was partially closed to traffic mid-August as part of the Valley Line West construction. The city says the reopening comes a week earlier than anticipated. The Oilers have locked up a veteran defenseman for a few more years. Matthias Ekholm has signed a 3-year contract extension worth $4 million a season. Ekholm says he was hoping to have a new deal in place before the start of the season.
It was maybe at the last hour, but we're super happy it got done, and we're happy to stay in Edmonton. I mean, I'm just wanted to retire in Edmonton. That's the whole goal. That's the purpose of this this deal, and we'll see at 39 if I have another year in me. But let's start with this and see where it goes.
Ekholm was acquired by the Oilers from the Nashville Predators in 2023. Since then, he's played 165 games with Edmonton, scoring 24 goals and 92 points. And the puck drops on a new Oilers season this evening. Their rivals from the south are visiting Rogers Place for the Battle of Alberta. After another long season, the fans and the team are getting ready to do it all over again. Nairman Issa joins us now from Ice District, where the party is underway. Nairman, how's it going down there?
Well, Jeff, the party is happening. We got the DJ spinning some tracks. We have, a bunch of people who have arrived here early. And just over my right shoulder, we have some Oilers alumni, meeting with fans, Kelly Buckberger and Craig McTavish. Fans can meet with them, talk with them, take some photos. This is a new initiative by the Oilers, having these tailgate parties where fans can come a few hours before puck drop and have some fun. Now, getting fans downtown, the Oilers are a big draw for businesses downtown, and they're hoping that these fans continue to keep coming downtown to keep them busy.
I just love the coloring. I love the style. They did a really good job.
Kendra Mayer and her husband are here from Ontario and are planning on bringing home a jersey as a souvenir.
We've traveled for this game, season opener. This is a bucket list for my husband.
The Oilers are a big draw for Edmonton, especially the downtown region. Fans from near and far are boosting business.
I just love the city so much. Everything in life that I ever loved always had to tie back to Edmonton somehow.
We first met Russ Jericho this past postseason. The Oilers fan is from the UK and would wake up at 3 a.m. to watch the games. He's now in Edmonton for 4 months, taking it all in.
Always wanted to see this place in the summer. Never been here in the summer, so I've been here to take in the Riverhawks game, an Elks game, and now hockey season's back, and I can't wait.
Down the street from Rogers Place is O'Byrne's Irish Pub. It opened its doors in February. Oilers foot traffic has been good for business.
More so during the week, we'll be busy before, and then during, not as bad, but on weekends, we are busy before, at capacity during, and then we are like line up outside after the game.
The Oilers are a major player when it comes to driving Edmonton's economy. Explore Edmonton says the 2025 playoffs generated an estimated $266 million economic impact. That includes 80,000 overnight stays.
Great for downtown, great for the pub especially. I'm very thankful and happy that we had, that fan base share that experience with us.
And with the new season upon us, businesses are hoping they and the team will score big. All right, fans of all ages who want to come to the tailgate party can do so for free. You don't need a ticket to the game to be able to come here and take in all this fun. Now, the Oilers will also be doing another tailgate party this Saturday when the Oilers host the Vancouver Canucks. Now, puck drop on a new Oilers season is tonight at 8 o'clock. And, of course, Jeff, fans hoping for another high-scoring, explosive regular season before we head up for another long postseason. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nairman. All right, first check on weather. Josh, a little cooler. It certainly felt more like hockey season today.
Yeah, temperatures were way below where we were yesterday. Yesterday, 23 for a daytime high. Today, the warmest we've been this afternoon is 12 degrees. You take a look at current temperatures in the Edmonton region. We're at 11 downtown. You get some single digits there off to the west and to the south of the city. At least the wind wasn't very strong, about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour through the day. And the sun has started to poke out late this afternoon. 17 will go down as the official daytime high for today, although that came in just after midnight. Then we dropped to 7 degrees for the low. As we said, the warmest we've been this afternoon is 12, which is right on par with average. Here's a look at that sunshine as we look through the lens of the CTV drone. Fairly clear skies over the Edmonton region, and that'll be the case for the rest of tonight and through tomorrow and Friday, and there is a warming trend on the way. You can see the cloud cover thinning out over the Edmonton area through the course of this afternoon. Still a bit of cloud cover off to the west and southwest and in northern Alberta, but even in those areas, looks like skies will clear overnight tonight. Because of that clearing and after a coolish afternoon, temperatures are going to drop below zero tomorrow morning. It'll be a frosty start to the day, -2 in the city. Outside the city in the -4 range. I'll get back to about 11 degrees by lunchtime tomorrow. That's where we are right now. So by lunchtime, we'll be just as warm as today and back into the mid-teens tomorrow afternoon. One more day close to 20 on Friday, and then the big cool down with a chance of flurries this weekend. Those details still to come.
Okay, thanks, Josh. Still ahead, the battle over class sizes.
My priority is to work on addressing those issues. I want to work on hiring more teachers, hiring more EAs, building more schools.
Why the education minister says caps on class sizes won't work in Alberta. Plus,
we get the feeling that the government wants to starve us a bit and hold out.
The impact of the strike on a 2-teacher household.
Coming up Thursday on Your Morning Edmonton, we learn about what it takes to train service dogs and how you can help, plus putting together thrifted Halloween costumes.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Today marks the 3rd day of a province-wide teacher strike. Class sizes are a sticking point in the standoff between the province and the teachers' union, with the two sides being far apart. CTV's Kevin Green explains.
Alberta's classrooms are at the heart of the fight, not because they're sitting empty due to the strike, but because they're too full when class is in. But the education minister says setting hard caps on class sizes doesn't work.
The only evidence that we found is that the caps must reduce class sizes beyond a level of 16 or 17 students per classroom to have any kind of measurable effectiveness.
Demetrius Nicolaides says that's unattainable given Alberta's growing population.
My priority is to work on addressing those issues. I want to work on hiring more teachers, hiring more EAs, building more schools so that every student has the best possible conditions that they have to thrive.
But researchers say the evidence and teachers' lived experience tell a different story.
We know that there are studies that have shown that for students, particularly younger students, decreases in class sizes have had a positive impact.
Without class limits, Hamilton notes Alberta is an outlier.
There is no limit on how many students can be in a classroom. We are only one of 2 provinces that don't have that right now, us and Saskatchewan.
The ATA says for teachers, it's not just a statistic, it's a working condition.
You might have students that are have learning disabilities or other sorts of needs in class. Maybe you only get 15 kids. That allows the teacher time to work with all students in the classroom, and that's really important.
As both sides continue to trade statistics and accusations, class size remains a central issue, keeping teachers off the job and students out of school, with the ATA saying the government's offer to hire 3,000 new teachers doesn't go far enough.
Our teachers voted that down because they said it's not enough.
Reality is now setting in for many people who would normally be in the classroom. CTV's Connor Hogg spoke to one household hit harder than most about how they're coping.
You must promise to stay here forever. No!
Stephanie and Jeremy LaRose wouldn't ordinarily have this much free time in the middle of the day. Both are missing their regular jobs. Jeremy teaches high school in Vegreville, and Stephanie teaches grade 2 in Sherwood Park.
We are a 2-teacher household, so that's no income. Might get some hate for this, but at least if it snowed, I could go and shovel walks.
The LaRoses say they've known this could be coming since March, and their union has told teachers to save a month's income in case. Teachers' strikes in Alberta historically haven't lasted longer than a few weeks.
We get the feeling that the government wants to starve us a bit and hold out.
For us, it's going to be a struggle.
I very much would like to see our kids back in classrooms in the public schools.
Speaking on Alberta Primetime yesterday, the finance minister says his government won't rule out back to work legislation in the coming weeks. A formal lockout goes into effect tomorrow afternoon.
This is a fight worth fighting for our own kids, for the kids that we teach, for our future kids.
If the strike lasts for 2 more weeks, Jeremy says he'll have to start looking for work. The LaRoses say many of their colleagues are in similar situations.
Much like being a teacher and my willingness to do whatever I can for my students, I'll do whatever I can for my family.
I love teaching. I love every student that comes through my classroom. Like they're one of my own. And for some, school is a safe place for them.
The LaRoses say the strike hardship now will be worth it in the end. In Sherwood Park, Connor Hogg, CTV News.
Signatures will start being collected next week on a proposed petition to stop putting public money towards Alberta private schools. The effort was launched by Calgary teacher Alicia Taylor. More than $450 million of the provincial education budget goes towards private schools this year. Fewer than 50,000 students attend the independent schools in Alberta. Taylor says she wants to see if Albertans think public dollars should only go to public schools.
I was noticing Daniel Smith in a number of interviews saying there was no more money available for public education, and I know that there's a pocket of money that's going to private schools, and I am hoping that we can redivert that to support all students.
A financial officer will need to be appointed to the campaign. The petition will need to receive at least 177,000 signatures in 120 days to be put on a ballot. The Premier has issued new mandate letters to ministers with healthcare portfolios. That includes primary and preventive health service, hospital and surgical health services, mental health and addiction, and assisted living and social services. Some of the tasks include reducing wait times, transferring non-acute patients out of hospitals, and passing legislation the government says will create more choice when it comes to accessing preventative services and screenings. The outgoing head of the Alberta Medical Association says she has very little confidence in the leadership of the overhauled health system.
I would certainly say that it would be nice not to need 4 mandate letters, that we really should only have one health minister and one mandate letter. And what we are seeing, for instance, is a disconnect, if we take 2 of the pillars, between acute care and assisted living Alberta, where we now have 2 organizations that are going to have different metrics and, you know, that are heavily rely on one another. And so far, we have not seen that happen. We have ALC numbers, particularly in the Edmonton zone, that are, you know, enormous. And it's not clear how this system is going to make that better.
The Alberta government moved to break up AHS earlier this year. The University of Alberta has a new state-of-the-art microscope capable of revealing the smallest details of cells, proteins, and viruses. The $8 million microscope can view molecules just 1/10,000,000th of a meter in size. Data that once took months or years to analyze can now be processed in a matter of hours. It's the only one of its kind in Alberta and the 5th in the country. The university's vice president of research says this is a pivotal moment for health-related research.
This isn't just a new piece of infrastructure. It's a game changer that will fundamentally redefine the future of drug discovery and viral research in our province.
The university says the microscope will help researchers explore human diseases and create drugs and vaccines to combat them. Still ahead, the end is here.
It's still perfect, and yet we have to stop. I don't know why. I don't see any snow. But you know what else I'm really going to be sad about? I'm going to miss Kevin.
How much longer you have to tee off at the city's golf courses? Stay with us.
There actually may be a little bit of snow. No accumulating snow, though, as it gets a little chilly through this Thanksgiving weekend. It's back to golf weather next week, though. Full forecast in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
As cooler weather tees off, the season for city-run golf courses is coming to a close. The last day for golfing in Victoria, Rundle, and Riverside is Monday, October 13th. Some golfers we spoke with say the end is coming too soon.
I'm very, very sad about golf coming to an end. The course has been in magnificent shape all year. And look at it. It's still perfect, and yet we have to stop. I don't know why. I don't see any snow. But you know what else I'm really going to be sad about? I'm going to miss Kevin.
Kevin and Rudy can still hang out at Victoria. The driving range will stay open, weather permitting. Good luck to them. How many rounds do you think you're going to sneak in before the end of the season, Josh?
Well, one for sure Friday. Yep. And then next week, November 3rd was our last round last year. I mean, it's not bad. It's getting cooler this week, but next week it warms up again. We'll show you that in a second. There's a look through the River Valley Sky Cams, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. 9 degrees right now, and a little Eye of Sauron action going on there. Look at that. That is... I kind of like that. A little jewel of downtown. 11 degrees in Fort McMurray, 11 degrees in Grand Prairie, 9 currently in Edmonton. We're going to show you some minus signs. These are not temperatures. Soon we'll have minus signs. This is the change in temperature over the past 24 hours. We're 12 degrees colder than we were at this point yesterday. Jasper's also down 12 from 6 p.m. yesterday. 5 to 7 degrees cooler than yesterday. In eastern Alberta, we'll see temperatures a couple of degrees warmer tomorrow. And then, as we mentioned right before the break, we take one last shot at 20 degrees on Friday before things start to cool off through the long weekend. Some clouds here across the north and off to the west and southwest of the Edmonton area, but those should clear out across the province overnight tonight. So we'll start tomorrow with some sunshine, sunny skies tomorrow afternoon, sunshine again on the way for Friday. And then late in the day Friday, off to the west, we see some increase in cloud, maybe a little bit of thin cloud in the Edmonton area, and a nice push of warm air out of the south, out ahead of this low. It'll be short-lived, though. It warms up Friday, but behind this system, some cooler Arctic air starts to drop in, not just the surface, but in the mid and upper levels, and it's cool enough in the mid-levels. This will flip over to snow. For parts of northwestern and western Alberta, I think there could be a couple centimeters of accumulation in parts of the Peace Country and through the mountain parks and the foothills as well before the weekend is done. Here in Edmonton, most of this, if not all of the rain, will be north and west of us in the morning, but through the afternoon hours, chance of showers, and then as this cooler air gets sucked in, the bulk of the snow is going to be across northern Alberta and then in western and southwestern Alberta as we make our way into Sunday. Here in Edmonton, there's a chance of a few flurries Saturday night into the first half of the day Sunday. It does not look like we'll see any real steady accumulating snow. There's your little bit of warm up tomorrow, back into the mid-teens. Close to 20 here on Friday, and then now it just gets progressively cooler and cooler through Sunday and Monday. And so daytime high Sunday, Monday will be in the 0 to 5 degree range. And probably closer to 0 than 5, especially on Sunday. Tomorrow morning, we'll start the day at about -2. Sunshine, light wind, and 15, maybe even 16 for a high tomorrow afternoon. 18 to 20-ish for a high on Friday, and fairly mild mornings Friday and Saturday. Just 9 or 10 for a high Saturday. 3 degrees in the forecast for Sunday, and that may be a little optimistic. And not only is it cloudy with this chance of showers and maybe some flurries here Saturday night, Sunday morning, but it's gusty as well. So it's cooling off, and you're probably going to have some wind chill. Gusts will be up around 40 kilometers per hour. There's a rebound for next week, though. Temperatures back in the 10 to 15 range by the middle to the end of next week.
Okay, thanks, Josh. A local dry cleaner is stepping up to help ensure everyone can keep warm this winter. Paige the Cleaner has taken over this year's Coats for Kids and Families donation drive after the United Way stepped back from the program. They're looking to collect clean, gently used or new winter wear of all sizes for kids and adults.
Right now, our locations are open for drop-off, so if people do have coats to donate, they can drop them at one of our 2 locations, either Edmonton or St. Albert, but there's going to be lots of other places to drop them.
A list of those drop-off locations will be updated on the company's website. The drive takes place between October 15th and November 30th. When we come back, the Prime Minister is back from Washington without a trade deal.
We have the best deal with the Americans, and the third thing that's true is we will get an even better deal.
Mark Carney under attack as Canada remains under U.S. tariffs. And
so fostering a squirrel, it's pretty much like any other animal.
Over 1,000 squirrels need homes in Montreal. We have breaking news for you now. President Donald Trump says a peace plan has been agreed to in the Middle East. In a post on social media site Truth Social, Trump writes that Israel and Hamas have signed off on the first phase of a peace deal, saying this means that all of the hostages will be released very soon and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as the first steps toward a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. This is a breaking story. We'll bring you more detail as we get it. Prime Minister Mark Carney is back from his trip to Washington without any tangible trade progress with the U.S. As CTV's Michael Couture reports, Carney faced tough questions in the House of Commons from the opposition.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is back in Ottawa without a deal on tariffs. However, CTV News can confirm the Keystone XL pipeline was part of yesterday's discussion at the White House.
Prime Minister, did you and Mr. Trump agree to revive the Keystone XL pipeline?
Very good discussions on a wide range of issues, and I look forward to talking to Parliament.
A source with knowledge of the discussions in the Oval Office yesterday confirms reviving the Keystone XL pipeline was raised between the 2 leaders. The extension would bring Alberta crude into the U.S. It was in the context of more energy cooperation between the 2 countries, but was also linked to relief on steel and aluminum tariffs.
Certainly, it could be another one of the levers that increases North American energy security, and so it certainly warrants exploring.
South Bow is now the proponent of the project, and while the Canadian company isn't privy to conversations between the governments, a spokesperson tells CTV News, quote, South Bow is supportive of efforts to find solutions that increase the transportation of Canadian crude oil. While a pipeline may be possible, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is dismissing the prospect of an auto deal with Canada. Sources say at a Eurasia Group summit, Lutnick said the Americans could continue buying auto parts from Canada, but that's about it.
Auto pack's been around since the 1960s. You can't unscramble an egg, you have to make the omelet larger.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. On Parliament Hill, Opposition Leader Pierre Poilievre called out the Prime Minister for not getting a deal in D.C. and promising more investment in the U.S.
The Prime Minister went pathetically to the White House to offer a $1 trillion gift, bowing before the President in weakness.
We have the best deal with the Americans. And the third thing that's true is we will get an even better deal because
A source with knowledge of the Oval Office discussion describes it as a very initial conversation to see if President Trump would be interested in reviving the Keystone expansion. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
The union representing striking Canada Post employees says it will meet with the federal minister in charge of the Crown Corporation tonight. Postal workers walked off the job nearly 2 weeks ago in the wake of Ottawa announcing sweeping changes to services, including the end of door-to-door delivery. Canada Post tabled a new proposal last week, which introduced provisions related to expected job cuts. The union has been taking aim at Purolator, which is 91% owned by Canada Post, picketing outside Purolator locations to draw attention to the issue. The family of an Alberta boy missing for more than 2 weeks is refusing to give up hope. The RCMP at Crow's Nest Pass have left the area, but members of the community have picked up the search. CTV's Kathy Lee reports.
It's a huge area. Each step deliberate, every movement purposeful. Mike Hassel scans for the faintest signs of disturbance.
I'm kind of going down the pathway of least resistance, figuring, well, where the little child go.
The child he is looking for is 6-year-old Darius McDougall from Lethbridge, Alberta. He went missing while on a camping trip with his family in the Crow's Nest Pass area more than 2 weeks ago, wearing these clothes.
This is my second time out here trying to do what I can.
The area where Darius went missing is very rugged. As you can see, this is incredibly tough terrain to navigate, even for the most experienced people.
Slippery as well. And you also got other factors such as wildlife, like bears are high main, so there's high chance of bears.
All reasons the public was asked to stay away while professionals combed the area. But after 11 days of searching by hundreds of volunteers from Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan, with no signs of Darius, the formal search was called off and the area reopened. Authorities say it's unlikely that Darius survived. As the RCMP continues its investigation, a community of civilian searchers grows on Facebook. Many, just like Hassel, heading out on their own.
This whole area was searched rigorously with helicopters, infrared, like the works. But it never hurts just to go over it again and just see what I can do.
And Hassel will continue to retrace more ground, steadfast in his effort to find Darius, saying he wants to bring hope, comfort, and closure to the child's family. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Crow's Nest Pass, Alberta.
The Bolo program is taking a new approach as they update their 25 most wanted fugitives across Canada, including one man wanted by Edmonton police. Volunteers dressed up as the 25 most wanted at a news conference, including 30-year-old Syed Osman. Osman is facing 2 first-degree murder charges in 2 separate cases, including a shooting at a lounge in Edmonton in 2022 and a shooting in central Edmonton in 2020. The Bolo program's website has also been updated with top 25 fugitive mugshots now moving using generative AI.
These fugitives, they're among us right now. So we need to give, if we ask people to be on the lookout, it's got to be user-friendly. So we're trying to make this as real as possible.
There's a $50,000 reward for Osman's arrest. Sexual assault charges against former fashion mogul Peter Nygard were stayed today in Winnipeg. Nygard's lawyer argued the charges should be stayed because reports drawn up after 2 police interviews with his accuser were later destroyed. Nygard was charged with sexual assault and unlawful confinement 2 years ago. Police say a woman alleged she was assaulted at a warehouse in 1993. Nygard still faces a trial on sex charges in Quebec and extradition to the U.S. on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. He was sentenced last year to 11 years for sex offenses in Toronto. After some health challenges in recent weeks and a social media post from her sister that prompted even more concern, Dolly Parton assured fans today that she's doing okay.
There's just a lot of rumors flying around, but I figured if you heard it from me, you'd know that I was okay. And I'm not ready to die yet. Hey, Natalie.
79-year-old said she took a break from filming commercials to record that message. She said she had neglected her own health during her late husband's illness, but she's receiving treatment. She recently canceled a number of performances and revealed she was dealing with conditions relating to a kidney stone. The Montreal SPCA is looking for volunteers to foster over 1,000 injured or orphaned baby squirrels.
So fostering a squirrel, it's pretty much like any other animal, depending on the age of the animal.
The nonprofit organization says they provide medical treatment, but there's an urgent need for families to care for the animals before they can go to a rehabilitation center. No experience is required. All people need is an enclosed room to isolate the squirrels from other pets. Still ahead, a Canadian medical breakthrough.
So we have to take that heart out and through special techniques, preserve it, bring it back, and put it in the person and hope that the heart starts beating.
What the innovative transplant process might mean for people on an organ wait list. Looking at the markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 71 cents U.S. Oil was up 82 cents, closing the day at $62.55 a barrel. Gold gained more than $66. The TSX ended the day higher, up 150 points. The Dow Jones made a slight gain up just 1 point. What's being called a Canadian first, a Toronto hospital has performed a transplant using a heart that was revived after the donor died and the heart stopped beating. As CTV's Heather Wright reports, the breakthrough could save more lives and give hope to those on an organ wait list.
Nearly 1 million Canadians are living with heart failure, many waiting for a transplant that may never come.
Many of them never make it to actually get that good news, that phone call that we found a heart for you. So this will provide hope for them that there will be a heart.
That hope is care of a new procedure Dr. Syed Ali Reza Rabi performed in early September at Toronto General Hospital. A heart transplant from a donor whose heart had stopped beating. The first time this cutting-edge procedure has been performed in Canada.
The heart is warm, meaning that it's not cooled to protect it, and it is not getting oxygen or nutrients. So this is a vulnerable time for heart. So we have to take that heart out and through special techniques, preserve it, bring it back, and put it in the person and hope that the heart starts beating.
Typically, heart donations come from people who are brain dead, but oxygen is still circulating in the body and their organs are still functioning. This procedure, first pioneered in Australia a decade ago, will open the pool of possible donors, and early data suggests the outcomes are similar.
And it looks like there is no difference between the outcome of the hearts of people who've received hearts from a traditional brain dead donor versus circulatory dead donor.
Right now, who is eligible for this procedure depends on where they live, as doctors don't want the donated heart to be outside of the body for more than an hour. But there is hope as new technology becomes available. Hearts will be able to travel anywhere in Canada, saving many more lives. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Scientists at the University of Calgary are launching a new study that involves an unusual request from participants. They're asking for your toenails to learn more about the link between radon gas and lung cancer. CTV's Mark Villani reports.
Emmy Bossio loves the outdoors, so whether hiking in the mountains or relaxing at the beach, the Calgary woman was always active and healthy.
I ate well, I checked all the chemicals in my cosmetics, I was very conscious about my health.
But a nagging cough wouldn't go away, and doctors noticed something wrong.
I was diagnosed at 47 with lung cancer, having never smoked.
Smoking is the leading cause of lung cancer, but number 2 is radon, an odorless radioactive gas linked to Canada's high uranium levels in soil.
The world's most radon-exposed people on this planet.
So to investigate, scientists at the University of Calgary are analyzing something unusual: toenail clippings. They say when radon is inhaled, it precipitates into solid lead, and toenails are a main place to find it.
Toenails are a very good long-term, what we call biological archive of long-term exposure.
The samples are collected and melted down to measure tiny traces of lead-210, the radioactive byproduct left behind when radon decays in the body.
And that's our clue.
Researchers also tested radon levels in participants' homes and found that higher levels of radioactive lead in toenails matched homes with elevated radon readings.
To use that information to say something about disease or exposure to toxic elements in the environment, that's where I think there's a lot of opportunity.
40 people have had their toenails analyzed so far, but new funding from the Canadian Cancer Society aims to expand the study to 10,000 participants nationwide, promising news for some lung cancer patients who say this could lead to earlier treatments and screening.
So I think for lung cancer patients being diagnosed, there's hope. And this is one of those things that will help with hope.
And if all goes well, the hope is that a simple toenail test will ultimately save lives.
That's why these studies are so critical.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Still ahead, how a BC couple's dying tree started blooming again.
And all of a sudden, ties were appearing. People would stop by, and I would encourage, just add to the collection.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV. Programming brought to you by Southview Acura. For family-owned, award-winning excellence, Southview Acura, where luxury meets reality.
At a time when most trees are losing their colorful leaves, a tree in BC is gaining some color. Adam Sawatsky explains.
Over and under.
When it comes to tying ties,
once you do this a couple of thousand times,
Bob Lamb doesn't really need a mirror.
You can do it in your sleep.
He first learned when he was little and mastered it after becoming a banker.
Wore a tie every day I worked for 60-odd years.
Bob also wore a tie that day he married his wife, Marnie.
He had to fit into a very conservative business role, but he was secretly a bit of a rebel.
When he wasn't conspiring with his co-workers to wear bow ties every Thursday, which earned him a nickname,
Bob, Bow Tie Bob.
Bob was running the Boston Marathon in a suit and tie.
You can do it the hard way, or you can do it the fun way.
When Bob retired, he gifted or donated many of the more than 50 ties he no longer needed, until a flowering tree that was pruned too hard left them with a bunch of bare branches.
So Bob came up with the idea of, let's hang a few ties on it, and then it just kind of blossomed from there.
Although there were few floral print ties in Bob's remaining collection, he and Marnie ensured the tree proliferated with plaids and paisleys and bloomed with bow ties all year round.
So the ties brought it back to life.
But then, thanks to strangers walking by, the tie tree took on a life of its own.
And all of a sudden, ties were appearing. People would stop by, and I would encourage, just add to the collection.
They've ranged from other seniors celebrating retirement to a private school student marking her graduation.
It's been a source of joy just for us, but also people walking by. So I think the tree's happy.
And like this one tie Bob has kept, featuring the lyrics to John Lennon's Imagine, he hopes that all the people will someday join him.
To just share the love and the joy and
realize that while some may see a tie as constricting, it can also blossom into something uniting. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
Temperatures on the frosty side tomorrow morning, -2 in the city, a couple of degrees cooler outside the city, but we'll warm up nicely through the day. Mainly sunny, up to 15 degrees in the afternoon. Wind should be pretty light through the day, close to 20 on Friday, and then a little temperature tumble around 9 or 10 degrees on Saturday, and windy. And a good chance of some showers in the afternoon. Could see some flurries Saturday night into Sunday morning. Still windy on Sunday, and highs Sunday, Monday are going to be in the 0 to +5 range. So it will be chilly.
Yep.
But warming back up next week.
Sounds great. Thanks, Josh, and thanks for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, CTV News Edmonton.ca. Have a great evening.